The Abrams Boxing Show, powered by Last Out Media and brought to you by www.15rounds.com, the worldwide leader in boxing news. Also, Abrams Boxing PR Media and Broadcasting, the industry standard for boxing media relations and play-by-play broadcasting. Also, check out www.abramsboxing.com, Abrams Boxing on YouTube, as well as M. Abrams Boxing on Twitter and Marc Abrams Boxing on Instagram. Good week to everyone, all the boxing fans around the world. I'm Marc Abrams, and welcome to another edition of the Abrams Boxing Show. We have a packed lineup this week. We got the Nordic Nightmare, Robert Helenius, and Shannon Briggs, who I spoke to at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. And go to Abrams Boxing on YouTube. There will be about 30 interviews with some of the legendary figures of the sport that I did over the weekend with at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame. So let's get to all the reviews, previews, and news of the week. Like I said, we have a loaded show this week. Last Saturday night, the Dignity Health Sports Pavilion in Carson, California, the 6'6" Sebastian Fundora retained his WBC interim super welterweight championship with a 12-round unanimous decision over Carlos Ocampo. Scores are 119-109, 118-110, and 117-111 for Fundora, who's now 20-0-1. Ocampo drops to 34-2. Good effort by Fundora. Did a nice job. Everyone expecting a vicious knockout like the fight against Erickson Lubin, but didn't happen. But Fundora looked good. He wants Jermell Charlo. We'll see if that fight materializes sometime in the spring. In the co-feature, Carlos Adames captured the WBC interim middleweight championship with an emphatic third-round knockout over Juan Macias Montiel. Adames now 22-1, 17 knockouts. Montiel now 23-6-2. Good effort by Adames, who's actually one of my favorite fighters to watch. He's a real exciting fighter. 22-1 now with 17 knockouts. The opening bout on the Showtime Championship boxing card, IBF Junior Bantamweight champion Fernando Martinez retained his title with his second consecutive victory over former champion Jerwin Ancajas. Scores are 119-109 and 118-110 twice for Fernando Martinez, who just outworked him, especially over the last 6-7 rounds. He definitely won the whole second half of the fight. Fernando Martinez becoming one of those, pretty good friendly for television viewing audiences as he throws a lot of punches. Before the Showtime Championship boxing card got going, Showtime showed a few prelim bouts on their YouTube channel, and we saw Igis Kavaliskis, the former welterweight world title challenger, winning a unanimous decision over Michael Fox. Kavaliskis now 23-2-1. Fox drops to 22-3. Edward Vasquez, our guest on last week's show, won a 8-round split decision over Victor Slavinsky. Vasquez now 13-1, Slavinsky 13-2-1. Scores are 79-73 and 77-75 for Vasquez, 78-74. I don't know what that judge is watching for Slavinsky. Also, kicking off the social media YouTube portion of the card, Gabriela Fundora, the sister of Sebastian, she remained undefeated. She's now 9-0 as she won a 10-round unanimous decision over Naomi Reyes. Scores are 98-92 and 99-91 twice for Gabriela Fundora, the 20-year-old sister of the WBC super welterweight interim champion Sebastian Fundora. A lot of stuff going on this week. Like I said, we only looked at one card from last week. There are 4 or 5 major cards this week, and we're going to go through all of them really quickly. Saturday in Brooklyn on Fox Pay-Per-View, payperview.com, Deontay Wilder, 42-2-1, takes on Robert Helenius, 31-3 in the heavyweight main event. We'll take a deeper dive into that fight in a moment. Caleb Plant, 21-1, takes on Anthony Durrell, 34-2-2 in a battle of former super middleweight world champions, that being the co-feature. Gary Antonio Russell, 19-0, takes on Emmanuel Rodriguez, 20-2. That's a rematch of a fight that was aborted about a year ago where there was a headbutt very early in the fight, and They will be getting on again. And kicking off the pay-per-view will be Frank Sanchez, 20-0, battling Carlos Negron, 25-3. Battle of big heavyweights. Negron, a big puncher. Sanchez from Cuba, a real good boxer, puncher. As we mentioned, the main event will be Wilder and Helenius, and I'll give my prediction afterwards. But I had a chance to talk to the Nordic Nightmare, Robert Helenius, earlier this week, and we talked about this very important fight, and this is how it sounded. Now joining me on the line is a man who next Saturday night, October 15th, will take on Deontay Wilder in the main event of a big pay-per-view card live from Barclays Center. Heavyweight, Robert Helenius. Hey, Robert, how you doing?
Hello, thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
So as we tape this, we're about a week out from this big fight, Saturday night, October 15th. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired because all the heavy work is now behind me. Now it's starting with just some light upkeeping training and keeping it sharp.
Deontay Wilder obviously coming off the two big losses to Tyson Fury. How important is it for you in this fight, because he's coming off two knockout losses, especially the second one being a real brutal one, to land something early, the first couple rounds to test his chin? Because obviously a lot of times when guys get knocked out like that, they seem to be never the same. Is it important for you to get something big in the first couple rounds on them?
Well, I'm pretty fast starter, so of course we're gonna test out each other. I don't thinking those terms that he's gonna be somehow bad in this fight or anything like that. I think he's a great boxer, so I need to keep my full 100% concentration and do everything in my power to win this fight.
Deontay Wilder, obviously a big name opponent, the former WBC heavyweight champion. At this point in your career, I know, maybe 5-6 years ago, you were one of the guys, or maybe the guy, who was supposed to be maybe the future of the heavyweight division. You suffered a couple losses in the meantime. Do you feel like some pressure has been lifted off you a little bit, meaning like maybe you're being taken for granted a little bit? The expectations maybe aren't what they used to be for you?
Well, that's good for me, though. That gives me an edge because they know my personal life and what I'm going through and stuff like that. So for me, it's good to take me for granted, and that's why I like being the underdog as well. Because I can only improve.
What's been the difference, especially the last couple fights against Kunaki? What's been the difference in those fights rather than the couple fights that you didn't get your hand raised?
Well, the difference was that I have been now gotten many years of no injury training and not being sick in a fight. So I think that's the main reason why the fight went so good.
You've had a couple fights now in the United States, and I believe the first fight against Kanaki was at Barclays Center. Yeah. Does that give you some being a little bit comfortable, being that you've been in this arena? In fact, Kanaki is a New York guy. You actually beat the hometown guy in New York. Does that give you some like a bit of being comfortable coming back to Barclays Center?
Yeah, I don't really care where I fight because I've been fighting all around the world. Even as an amateur, when I was 18, we were fighting in Cuba, Russia, China. We have been fighting everywhere in the world and in different arenas. So I try to focus on the fight, not where I fight.
What do you make? And I would imagine you've probably seen stuff on social media. Deontay Wilder has actually been given his sparring round count. I guess he's sparred about 400 rounds or something right now. I don't know if you've seen any of that on social media.
I'm sorry, I'm not on social media. I have people keep maintaining my page on that front. I don't really follow news or social media.
So
I have enough to follow this head,
The fact that he's like sparred a real lot of rounds. What does that tell you anything about what his mindset is going into the fight?
Well, that probably means that he's for real and trying to come and win this fight like me. I don't remember how many hundreds of rounds of fights, but like sparring this training camp. But we had a 5-week sparring camp now, so we also ready.
Obviously, this is an elimination bout. That means the winner of this fight gets the big fish, the big world title shot. I know you're not looking past this fight. Obviously, with a big puncher like Wilder, it's definitely can't look past this fight. But do you see, obviously, your dreams and your goals now within reach?
Yes, and that's why I'm still in the game. I promised my Finnish fans to bring the belt home, and I'm doing everything in my power to do that and keep my promise.
What's it mean to you? Obviously, you also represent an area, the Nordic region, to be headlining a big pay-per-view in the United States.
Well, it feels great, of course. Such a small country and many good athletes.
I mean, because of your success, you feel that you have inspired maybe a lot of young fighters there to not only become fighters, but say, hey, you know what? It's everything's possible.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. I hope to inspire many more heavyweights in Finland to pick up the gloves and start boxing.
Couple last questions. What do you want to say to the fans in closing before we see you Saturday night, October 15th, live at Barclays Center, Fox pay-per-view, PBC on Fox pay-per-view?
Well, tune into the fight because it's going to be spectacular. And, there can be only one winner, and it's this.
Do you think two guys, 6'7", a knockout one way or the other, you feel that's what the result's going to be?
I think so, yeah.
There you have it. Thank you, Robert, for a few minutes of your time. We wish you best of luck, and we'll talk to you along the way.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. There you have it, Robert Helenius, who takes on Deontay Wilder. I like Wilder. I think there's going to be some big punches landed by both guys. I think it's going to be one of those kind of slow but slugfest kind of fights. It's going to be entertaining. Got Wilder by TKO round 9. That's my prediction. A couple other predictions on the card. I'll take Caleb Plant by the unanimous decision over Anthony Durrell. Gary Russell probably boxes his way to a unanimous decision over Emmanuel Rodriguez. And I'll take Frank Sanchez by mid-round stoppage over Carlos Negron. Saturday in Australia on ESPN, Devin Haney, 28-0, takes on George Kambosos Jr. for the undisputed lightweight title, a rematch of the fight from a few months ago. Haney won pretty easily, and I expect this fight to be even easier for Devin Haney. He's got his father in Australia with him the whole time. All he's doing now is focusing on the fight. He's got the skills that pay the bills in this one. Got to go with Devin Haney over George Kambosos Jr. This Saturday night. Also Saturday, on WatchBoxing.tv, the Gloves Up, Guns Down will be airing at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. The main event will be DeMichael Harris versus Donovan Estrella. So it's on this WatchBoxing.tv. You'll see that great event, big card that will be streamed live and for free on this WatchBoxing.tv. Saturday and live on ESPN Plus, Claressa Shields, 12-0, meets Savannah Marshall. Also 12-0 for the undisputed middleweight championship. This fight will headline a card that was postponed a few weeks by the unfortunate passing of Queen Elizabeth in England. The fight's in London, so they shut the country down for a couple of days. Just happened to be the weekend of this great all-female card. Also, Michaela Mayer, 17-0, takes on Alicia Baumgartner, 12-0 for the IBF, WBC, WBO junior lightweight titles. Great, again, I mean, just a great afternoon, evening of boxing. And if you want to get up at 4 a.m. in Eastern time, which I think that's when it starts. I know it's very early in the morning. Go back to Australia. Matchroom Boxing will have Liam Perro, 22-0, take on Brock Jarvis, 20-0. Also, heavyweights Dempsey McKean and Sky Nicholson will be in action on this card. Couple news items this week. Last Saturday is the zone clash between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. Obviously, unfortunately, did not happen. Conor Benn tested positive for a banned substance, and there was was the fight going to go on? Was it get off? It was on. It was off. Finally, about a day before the fight, after the BBC pulled the plug on the fight, the BBC with Ben testing positive for a trace amount of a banned woman's fertility drug. Some other news items. Let's see here. The main event of a October 21st fight in Orlando will pit Frank Diaz, number 9-1, take on Oscar Bravo, 25-10. Alexis Rocha will be added to the October 29th card that will feature Joseph Diaz and William Zepeda. Rocha will take on Jesus Perez at 24-3, 18 knockouts. It's a 10-round co-feature fight. Robesi Ramirez was supposed to fight Jesse Magdaleno on October 29th in the Hulu Theater, Madison Square Garden. Magdaleno is now out with an injury. A couple other news items here. Added to the Jake Paul Anderson Silva fight will be a fight between former NFL running back Le'Veon Bell taking on former UFC MMA fighter Uriah Hall. That would be at 195 pounds on October 29th on Showtime pay-per-view. Isaiah Steen will now take on Sinek Becco in the main event of a ShowBox The New Generation card on October 21st at Bally's in Atlantic City. The original opponent, original main event, Ali Asmalov had to withdraw due to COVID. His fight against Hot Rod Kalajevic. Jose Zepeda will 35-2, 27 knockouts. Will take on Regis Prograis, 27-1, 23 knockouts for the vacant WBC Super Lightweight Championship. November 26th at the Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. That fight will be a pay-per-view fight. Former world title challenger Derek Chisora looks like he may be in line to fight Tyson Fury on December 3rd. Also, a couple fights this weekend. Tony Jeter has a card at the Maryland Live Hotel Casino in Hanover, Maryland. Great card. Elijah Pierce versus Darren Williams. Also in Chicago, great super middleweight doubleheader that will be live on BXNG TV on Saturday night. Bobby Hitz of Hitz Boxing. Earlier this week, I had a chance to talk to Shannon Briggs at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, and we had a nice sit down, and this is how it went. Live at the Atlantic City Boxing. Now join me here live at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall. One second here. Now join me here live at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame is the former heavyweight champion of the world. I'm saying that a lot today.
Two-time heavyweight champion.
Two-time heavyweight champion of the world, Shannon Briggs. How you doing?
I'm good, champ. How about yourself?
Doing great.
Good
Doing great. So what's it like being back here? You see, like I said, the thing is, I don't like saying old guys. That means I'm calling you old too.
Oh snap! It's amazing to be here. I'm fanning out, man. All these great champions here: Michael Spinks, Tim Witherspoon, Picklin Thomas, Montel Griffin. So many champions here, man. I'm fanning out big time.
Obviously, the division that quote runs the sport, that heavyweight division. You mentioned former two-time heavyweight champ. James Toney was the champion for
James Toney in the house. Let's go, champ.
For a couple minutes. Michael Spinks, Pinklin Thomas, Tim Witherspoon. Larry Holmes may be around this weekend.
Ooh.
Lots of heavyweight champions here.
Really? Yeah, that'd be crazy to see Larry Holmes. But yeah, a lot of champions here. It's a great event. A lot of people, fans turned out. I'm shocked, man. I mean, not shocked. I'm just having fun. It's better than I thought. So I had a few people come down from New York and New Jersey for the day. And it's going to be
first time here at the Atlantic City Hall of Fame, right?
Excuse me?
Your first time here at the Atlantic City Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir.
You had many great moments and great fights here in Atlantic City. What sticks out when I say Shannon Briggs fight in Atlantic City? What sticks out in your mind?
When I fought Foreman here, Lennox Lewis here. I had a lot of fights here coming up as a youngster, building my career here in Florida. So, here in Jersey. So it's been great, man. It's been great.
What Atlantic City was such a vibrant fight town. I know they're trying to make it happen again here. I mean, like you said, it meant so much to you in your career. How much would it be a shot in the arm to the boxing community to get Atlantic City up and running again?
It'd be great to get it going, man. It'd be great I'd love to be a part of it, to be honest with you, because, like I said, my career was built and it started here. So I'd love to be a part of something like that. I apologize. I was waiting for the mic. Let's go, champ. But yeah, it'd be great for Atlantic City. I'd love to be a part of it because this is the place to box it, man. We know Atlantic City. We had some big fights here. Mike Tyson. Man, so many big fights came out of Atlantic City, and we want to bring that back, man. I want to be a part of it.
What just going today? I mean, you never officially announced your retirement, have you?
Yeah, I'm not going to never retire. I'm going to fight forever.
Yeah, I mean, do you still hope for one more big fight?
Yeah, I want a big fight. I want to fight somebody big, You know, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones and Holyfield and all these guys did these comebacks, and then, they got paid, and you know what I mean. I could beat all of them at the same time. They could jump me and I could beat them all. So why can't I get a fight? Oh, that's why I can't get a fight, because they can't. They scared.
Who of the quote younger generation of heavyweights?
Yeah, man.
Who do you? I mean, who? Are you a Fury guy?
Look how old I am. Look at all this gray hair. Look how old I am.
Guy like Fury and Usyk. You following that? And who do you like out of those two?
I like Fury in that. I never count this guy out. What's his name? Usyk, but I like Fury.
How would you fight a guy 6'9" like Fury?
Say that again.
How would Shannon Briggs fight a 6'9" guy like Tyson Fury?
Oh, I'm taking it to him. I'm banging it close, and I can box and step apart, step back, and you gotta know how to fight a guy that can box. You gotta get funky with him. You gotta have that rhythm. Cook. Cook.
Told you I wouldn't keep you too long. What do you want to say to the fans besides "Let's Go, Champ"?
Ooh, you beat me to it. I just want to say have a great day. Drink some water. Drink water is the best thing for you, man. Don't dehydrate. Stay away from the sugar. Don't watch too much negativity on TV. Don't listen to negative music today. Make it a positive day. Do some exercise. Go for a walk. And if you ever feel down now, you feel like quitting, say, "Let's go, champ."
I actually have one other question just came to mind.
Sure.
When you're doing the chasing Vladimir around Florida videos, how'd you know where he was all the time?
I had a little bird. I got magic powers. Besides that, I had a little bird. He used to fly to me and tell me, "Champ, he over there."
Do you like the thing in the restaurant, or do you like the thing on the water better when you followed him on the jet skis?
Well, in the restaurant, they jumped me. So it wasn't me. It was him. He had bodyguards. But in the water, I got him because he was by himself.
That was, to this day, probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Let's go, champ.
Shannon Briggs, thank you for a few minutes. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Cheers.
Thank you. There you have it, Shannon Briggs. Very entertaining. So, like I said, turn Abrams Boxing on YouTube. You'll see so many great videos. I'm putting them up 3, 4, 5 a day. I did about 30. James Toney, Pinklin Thomas. There you see Shannon Briggs. Dave Tiberi just went up. I'm just trying to think who else. There's just so many guys. Kelly Pavlik. So Kendall Holt, former world champion. So a lot of great videos. Again, this week, some great streams on watchboxing.tv, Saturday, 5 p.m., Southpaw Promotions. Also on BXNG TV, Saturday night, I'll be broadcasting live in Chicago. So everyone should watch all these great fights. Loaded weekend. Saturday is one of those days that if you don't have to, don't get off your couch or get out of your chair. Get some good food and enjoy a whole day of professional boxing. So we will talk to you and review all those fights next week, preview everything going on next weekend.